friends and neighbours.
Well, it's 5:30 in the morning. I've got a coffee.
Keep you safe.
I've just woken up, so it's time for Tales Over Coffee. It's definitely not for broadcast. Things got all heated up in the newsroom last time, didn't they? Old Jeremy pulling a gun on people and trying to get me to promote terrorist propaganda from Resist or whatever the name is, Disrupt. Let's see how today goes. A tape to remember. You wake up still partly in shock from what you saw on the news last night. What you had to edit on the news last night. When you come downstairs, you find your family sat in the living room waiting for you. You take a seat on the sofa between Sam and Susie. Sam swallows, hesitating before starting. I was so worried about you last night. After Jeremy, everything that happened. Sam shakes her head. What they'll do with him now? Are you okay? Well, probably I can't say I blame them. Sam looks to the kids and back to you. And we saw that you chose not to play that tape. They pause while continuing. And I couldn't help but wonder why. Seemed like the right thing to do. I think you did the right thing. I mean, it was a crazy situation, but playing the tape could have been really dangerous, Charlie says quietly. You hadn't realised how much your support would mean to you. Good to have your son on your side. For what it's worth, Alex, I think you were in an impossible situation and somehow you managed to make the right call. Sam throws her arm around you. Only you were stuck in that studio having to make that choice. No one can criticise what you did and I'm proud of you. Sounds like a half-assed compliment, to be honest. No one can criticise what you did. Sounds like you are doing, actually. You've never been so grateful to have Sam support you. I mean, it sounds like she's saying, apart from the last bit, you know, where she said, I don't think you did the right thing. That sounds like something I'd have just for. Sounds like she's saying, well, I think you were wrong, but no one can criticise you. You take a deep breath. Gather your thoughts. It's still a lot to take in. You're not sure you've fully processed what happened last night. Let alone what Charlie and Sam think about it. You look to your daughter. Never agree on anything, but even I didn't think you could be so stupid. Susie throws the newspaper onto the coffee table and Jeremy's face stares up at you from the front page. All you had to do was play it, and you couldn't even do that right. She gets up and leaves the room, clapping slowly as she goes. Why I thought you moved in with your boyfriend. What, did that fall apart, did it? That wasn't predictable, was it? You sigh and absent-mindedly turn on the TV. Nice you've at least got some company. The TV's playing through some old western show, but it's not quite as distracting as you hoped. You're never going to please everyone. No. You can't please all the people all the time. You can't please some of the people any other time, so you might as well just please yourself. Questionable choice. You got off work early today, a rare enough occurrence to put a spring in your step. As you close the front door, you hear excited conversation bubbling from the kitchen. Clearly someone's popped round for a cuppa on Sam's Friday off. Hopefully there are still some biscuits left. As you enter, you see Sam, Susie and Zach are all laughing and discussing something. As soon as she sees you, your daughter turns and enthusiastically presents her hand, which sports a prominent diamond ring. Oh, good. Look, Zach proposed, we're engaged. Act happy for her. Oh my god, that's amazing news. I'm so happy for you. The pair of them end up staying for dinner. They've moved pretty quickly. But when you know, you know. You're genuinely pleased for them. Now that's questionable. Always be there for her either way. It's been 6 months since you and Sam last discussed Grandma's ever-increasing medical costs. And Emma, while very pleasant, has proved as expensive as a nurse as you'd feared. You can't quite believe it's been that long already, but the sanctions are really starting to hit home now. And unfortunately, the government's only solution to help the ailing elderly is a day trip to a transition centre. Why does everything seem to come back to money? Well, the world, isn't it? This time meets you at the kitchen table surrounded by bills and paperwork when Sam comes to join you. Today Emma told you that there was really nothing more you could do, except an expensive experimental new treatment that might not even help. Sometimes your mum wants a treatment, more often she talks about visiting a transition centre. It's hard to know which she really wants. Sam puts a hand on yours. What are we going to do, honey? She's your mother, it has to be your choice. Well, if she's talking about moving to a transition centre, that's her choice. It's her life to do as she wishes. I don't think she wants to live like this anymore. It's hard, but it's time for the transition centre. These things are never really a choice. Well, they are. She made the choice. Hope the kids will understand. It was all you could do given the circumstances. Only things have been different. And on to the final show, I believe. Day 371, the 20-week war.
Alex, it's Bozeman here. Hope all's well with the family. Just a heads up, we're expecting those troublemakers at Disrupt to attempt to hack the channel during the broadcast.
Oh, great.
So keep an eye on the interference screen and stay out of the orange. Let's keep the news on the air. It's important, now more than ever.
Crazy Neil, of course, that's going in there. Advanced War Broadcast, that has to go in there.
So, Julia's team have asked me to ask you to keep it light.
Well, what does that mean?
It means to do that thing you do where you turn politicians into humans. Just don't get drawn into talking about the war or politics in general, really.
They do know this is the news, don't they?
I see they're dressed in black now.
Apparently, there's a crew at Team HQ right now. I think she's giving a speech or something tonight. They'll get it on the late news.
Oh, great. So they get the brains and we get the performing monkey.
Sometimes you sound just like him, you know.
How are you?
It is what it is.
It is.
How's she gonna be? She was held at gunpoint by a man she respected. Loved as a
10
brother.
seconds, everybody.
At least that's how I took his statements.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
It's time to join Megan and the team for the National Night.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolfe. It's the 140th day of war. Our main headlines tonight. Company of Heroes. Skirmishes on land and sea again today as our armed forces tested the mettle of the World Council's illegal...
Brave boys and girls.
Advance's strategy of multiple small-scale incursions into the disputed zone is certainly keeping the enemy on high alert, unable to work out where or when the next strike will come. Proud parents throughout the territory find themselves ever more impressed by the bravery and commitment of their incredible children and the job they're doing keeping supply lines open against all possible odds.
Absolutely.
Don't starve. Advance's food programme moved from strength to strength today as rationing depots were opened in the last remaining unfed areas of the territory.
There you go.
The rationing depots have been constructed in record time, and the government's agricultural coordination strategy has seen shelves restocked with
See, they're doing a good job in a
regularity.
hateful situation.
And judging by the looks on this happy family's faces, it can't come a moment too soon. They'll be getting a good meal tonight on the government, just like the rest of us. 7 days to die. The recent decision to allow those with long-term health conditions to access transition centres has today been declared an overwhelming success.
There you go.
Previously available only to those in their final years, the expansion of the service has been met with relief by the many organisations calling for it to be opened up to the wider community. The transition centres have reported larger than expected numbers, but report that they are coping well and able to provide a complete and meaningful service to all who choose to use it.
When people want it, they want it.
Populace. More than 11% of the population have thus far failed to register for a team membership card. A worrying statistic given that the cards are a legal requirement from midnight tonight. It's up to the other 89% of us to remind our tardy friends that not taking advantage of all
Absolutely.
the exclusive services available to cardholders is now, as it should be, absolutely criminal. Sympathy for the Devils? A poorly attended protest was held today by struggling self-styled resistance movement Disrupt. Support for the organisation has been falling after this and other news outlets showed the public their true colours. And while it's easy to feel some sympathy for them now, as their numbers dwindle and their attempts to garner support grow more desperate, let's not forget how threatening they could be in greater numbers.
Absolutely.
And finally tonight, our mutual friend. Bail was denied in the High Court today for shamed former national nightly news anchor Jeremy Donaldson. The presenter will be transferred to new lodgings at Pension Ridge Prison, while the lengthy preparations for his trial, which is still 18 months away,
I'll show him
begin.
in prison.
Since being taken into custody 10 weeks ago in this very studio, little has been heard from our former colleague. Despite how things ended, we wish him the best, and we'll be sure to bring you all the details of that court case every night.
Well, we have to say that, but it was a
But
terrorist.
first
It needs to go down.
With the war about to enter its 21st week, I'll be chatting with Peter Clement live in an exclusive
Great.
team talk from his home in Lanfordshire. Don't go away. You won't want to miss a second of tonight's National Nightly News.
Moving a bit faster today. There we are. Got it though.
Later in the programme, I'm thrilled to say Lil
Oh.
C, who's going to be treating us to a
was
world
bad.
premiere of her new single. And then after that, in part 3, we've got something new I promise you won't want to miss. But first tonight, let's check in with Prime Minister Peter Clement, who's coming to us through the magic of television all the way from his home in Lanfordshire. Are you receiving me, Prime Minister?
Loud and clear, Miss Wolf. Loud and clear.
There you go.
Let's start with the obvious. What's that in your hand, Prime Minister?
Cheeky cow. But yeah, it's true. 75 days without an alcoholic drink, and I've got to say, I'm beginning to feel the benefits.
It certainly looks that way.
Oh, God, we're on the wrong thing
I made
here.
a promise to Mrs. C, and as my old man used to say,
A promise is worth keeping.
something like that, only with assholes.
So, I've heard from my sources that you and the illustrious Mrs. C plan to take your winter break somewhere a little different this year.
That's right, we're planning a walking holiday right here in the territories, which is different for us, because like you, Megan, I've always been a big fan of those warm foreign beaches.
Did you make this decision because of the blockade, Prime Minister?
Well, no, that's a good question. Well, as you know, while
you
the
should be on
blockade
him.
has effectively restricted the flow of goods into the country, we and our
Well, you're
neighbours
both
have
of it.
continued to allow unimpeded travel for business leaders, ministers and such. So, although me and the missus could theoretically go to that gorgeous beach I just mentioned, it just doesn't smell much like team spirit to me. After all, as my old man used to say, when life gives you shite, make shite pie.
It works just as well with lemons and lemonade.
I suppose it does.
Prime Minister, maintaining a healthy body like yours at a time of
on.
national crisis must require some demanding planning. What's your regime and how do you go about it all?
Well, the truth be told, it's all down to Claude,
Down to him.
my infinitely patient personal trainer. He's a man with a plan. I'm just the prat with the fat.
Wow, on that very subject, how are you and Mrs. C handling living on rations?
Well, let me tell you, Megan, back in the 50s, when I worked for you backstage for your Patrick Brannan's dad, did you know I did that?
I think everyone knows that, Prime Minister.
Well, what you probably didn't know was that Graham Bannon was a right tightwad, paid the bare bloody minimum and still found every possible excuse he could to dock your pay even further. I remember he once docked me a whole $5 for having an unacceptably smelly lunchbox type bastard. Anyway, what I'm saying is back then I ate a lot less than I am now, even under rationing. We all did. And let's face it, there are still plenty of people in this country who could afford to lose a little bit of weight.
What are you implying? No, but seriously, Prime Minister, we know you're very busy, but one final question, if I may.
Oh, well, go on then.
When you get home from a long day, your head full of the territory's hopes and fears, what music do you listen to when you work out to take your mind off things?
Well, I know I've got a bit of a reputation for being an old fuddy-duddy, but I'd be lying if I didn't say there's something about Little C that just demands one's attention.
Well, let's hope you stay
Probably
watching,
two
Prime
things,
Minister,
huh?
because she is going to be talking and performing live after the break.
Oh, I'll be watching. After all, as my old man used to say, everything's a treat on a boring Friday with nothing but the wind up your shunt.
It's Wednesday, Prime Minister.
I think the expression still stands.
Peter Clement, thank you for joining
He
us.
is a card, isn't he? Tells it like it
I don't know about you
is.
at home, but I think there's something kind of inspirational
Speaks
there.
his mind.
I know, I feel safer. When we come back, Lil C is going to be giving us the debut performance of her new single, and I'll be getting to meet her. As her biggest fan, I don't mind telling you, I'm pretty excited. Don't go away. We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back.
There we go.
Gripping stuff.
Was that even news?
I think you forgot to ask him what his favourite number is.
Oh, I must have forgotten that in all the excitement.
So assuming it's not vodka, what do you think's actually in that milk? I reckon it's the tears of his enemies.
You are one disturbed individual.
How I
That's crazy, Neil. Yeah, it wasn't a great segment. Hey, that's what you get when you're just waking up. That's the problem with doing this as a Fails Over Coffee. But we'll get there. We'll blunder through together. Go.
No doubt have spotted the updated mixing disc. You'll need the new buttons during the next sections. First, we'll need applause when the guest enters and before her song. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it when we get there.
Okay. We've got sound effects to add. Applause, laughter. No, that's laughter. Shock and thumbs down. Alright, sounds like Crazy Neil's having a good time again. Doesn't look like there's going to be a heat wave this time, which is good, because that was bugger.
I've never heard of her before.
Oh, she's big, really big.
Really? Is she any good?
Nah, of course not. She dog shit. But kids go mad for her, absolutely mad.
5 and 10 seconds.
Hang on, Colin, you've got kids.
Yeah, I've got about 6 or 7, I think.
6 or 7, I think.
5, 4, 3.
Thanks for coming back. Later, we have an exciting new feature that we just know you're going to love, so stay tuned for that. But first, I'm really excited for our next guest. She rose to prominence as the delightful Susie May in All My Daughter's Children's Men, before taking the music industry by storm this year with her debut album smashing the chart records at the age of just 20. Let's give it up and welcome Lil C!
The staff excellent work.
May I just say, you look incredible.
Oh, thanks, babe. I'm doing this new regime and it really does work.
What's the regime?
And my manager suggested it to me. It basically involves bathing in like cabbage water and then having the leaves sucked out of you while you sleep.
Wow, is
Well,
that
there you
healthy?
go.
Oh, well, look at me, Meg. The leaves are my only nourishment.
Yep, they certainly are. Now, you'll have to forgive me, but I'm somewhat of a super fan, so I'm sorry if I get a bit starstruck.
Oh, bless you. I've never actually heard of you before, so if you do get a little tongue-tied, I can always carry the interview.
Oh,
Well,
that's
that
good
makes
to know.
sense.
So your first album, F My Face Together, it hit shelves this summer and it just exploded. I mean, what was that like for you?
Bonkers, just so weird. I was in the papers and the magazines. Overnight, I went from that, like, annoying little girl from that show to that, like, sexy little girl from that show.
Wow, that must have been bizarre.
Not really, it was just like any other morning. You know, get up at 5, go on a 4-mile run, have 3 meetings on my cabbage bath, but then only then was my dad actually talking to me.
Oh, of course. I mean, the famed country singer, Billy Bob Jean Short. I didn't know you'd been estranged.
There's nothing that strange about it, Megan. Okay, yes, he may believe that aliens told him to hate women, but there really isn't anything to prove that he's wrong.
So, this newfound explosion into your popularity, I mean, did that change your life?
Well, I had to start wearing like nicer underwear, you know, for the paparazzi. But as my manager says, best to make the most of it before I'm 30.
Is that right? So, what's the album about?
So I thought it was about like how pretty and great I am, but Actually, it's about monetizing youth, I think, or about like promoting an unrealistic standard of beauty or something.
Your manager again.
Yeah, he says insecurity is an opportunity.
There you go.
Do you think he'd be happy with you telling us all this?
Telling you all what? It really doesn't matter what I say here. I'll do my dancing and then this part will all be forgotten about.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, we're going to see some of those famous dance moves very shortly because you're going to be performing your new single, aren't you?
Yeah, it's from my album Put It In My A Together and it's out tomorrow.
So soon, after the last one.
Yeah, I've actually released 2 albums since lunchtime and a clothing line during this interview. So
That
this
was
is called
stupid. I
Cry
couldn't
for
do
Help,
anything.
And it's going to be in all the best high street and retailer shops. And it's out now. So girlies, you know what to do. Scream and cry until somebody gets it for you.
Ooh, there she goes.
There you go.
All these projects, they're keeping you very busy, aren't they? It must be tough.
Yeah, it can get tough and I hate it sometimes and I hate myself. I just want to like cry into a bath of root veg. But then I think thousands of girls would do anything to be me, so I must be quite lucky.
Well, you know you don't have to do this, though, don't you?
Yeah, I do think that sometimes. Most nights, between like my 4th vodka and the 8th time a stranger slaps me around the arse, I think things could have been different, you know, like better. But I don't know. I love doing autographs and having somebody dress me and tell me what to wear.
Did you always want to do music?
Well, ever since I was a little girl, I did. I'd sit in front of the radio, and as soon as my favourite girl group would come on, I'd press record on my cassette. But then my dad would come in and tell me to turn it off and to go back upstairs and start practicing again.
Sorry, is your dad your manager?
Yeah, which can be tough. And sometimes when it gets really hard, he'll say, "Make Quagler proud, and you might just survive childbirth."
There you go.
You know what, despite anything, you'll make me proud.
Oh, if only your opinion was as valuable as his.
And on that problematic note, you're going to be singing your song for us soon, aren't you? Tell me about it.
So it's called These Babies Gonna Bring You Home, and I actually got sent the lyrics in the car on the way up here. But you know what? It's actually all right. And don't worry, all my work is team approved.
All right then.
Written by
you
someone
can go and
good
get
then.
ready for that. We'll see you in a little bit. It was a very specific type of pleasure to chat to her, and I just can't wait to hear this. Oh, so here's Lil C with an exclusive first performance of her new track, These Babies Gonna Bring You Home. Take it away.
There we go.
It's the Force's favorite, the Queen of Teams.
Oh, supporting the troops, yeah.
Breaking your blockades. Lil C.
Lil C.
Oh baby, can't you see I'm hungry?
Yeah.
There's a place in me that's empty.
Oh yeah.
I want that meat you're packing. Only you can fill that crack in me.
Yeah.
I'm under
You wanna fill a crack in?
so come and free me. Ain't no disruption here. Boy, I got no agenda. Just want the team and me. No dirty foreign member. Don't stop no morning drill. There's holes in me that ain't been filled yet. I only scream this loud when you do your country proud. I ain't no Vickers daughter. Come and skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older. Tie me down and hold me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier.
Hey, see, she's getting
Try
it.
and break our dream. We fight and love and diet. So what a Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy. I wanna see some action. So
There you
come
are.
and break my sanctions.
Now this is really supporting the troops. I'm sure they really love it.
I've been this wild and free since Mama burdened me. She was only 53, but gave to save her family. There's no one judging me if I'm the one that's in your fantasy. Don't die alone, this baby's gonna bring you home. I ain't no Vickers daughter, come and skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older, tie me down and hold me like an enemy soldier. An enemy see some action. So come and break my sanctions.
Don't get performance like this every day. There you go. Yeah. Show them what you do for the troops. Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Well,
Skirmish
if that
on the
doesn't distract
borders.
you from the world outside, I don't know what will.
Rover like an
I'd
enemy
like to
soldier.
thank Paul Seafold. Well, for doing that, don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll finally be revealing the new segment of our show that we just know you're going to love. We'll be back right after this.
And we're out.
Here at Advance, we know that for many of you these are frightening times. You should not be afraid.
Can I just say, thank you so much for letting me do this. It really means a lot to me, you know.
Yeah.
To be able to promote myself on such a mainstream platform like the news.
Well, don't worry about it. And you know what? Good luck for the future. Take care of yourself. This industry can be crazy sometimes. Watch out for that father of yours, won't you?
Oh, no. I manage myself. It's just, you know, for the public to have that certain perception. You know, it's like...
There you go.
Oh, right.
And Michael?
What was
The
Michael?
promotion
What about
skills.
Billy Bob Jean Short is seen.
Oh, my dad! He's such a sweetheart. We both had the same agents, you know, like it just made sense. Both of us for our image together.
Wow.
And Michael, I want to see the revenue share for the clothing line and get me a G&T before my meeting with the lube guys. If they say for your pleasure, I'm going to start needing it.
This next section will need you to use all 4 of the sound effects to help things along. Try and pick the most appropriate one in
Well,
each
the
given
fact
moment.
is,
The actors
Jen,
can't
there
hear
weren't
what you're
enough
doing,
flowers
so
in my
trusting
dressing
you to
room.
make the right choices.
12 as it
Right.
said in your rider.
Do I
we've
look
got all
like the
the sound
sort of
effects.
person who counts things? No, not anymore.
And we'll get
I'm
the right
better
ones because
than
I want to be
that
supportive
now.
of the show.
I'll tell you what, just keep adding flowers until it
As a team.
feels like 12. Got it?
Absolutely, right away. 10 seconds.
With you. Because we are you.
5, 4, 3.
Thanks for joining us for part 3. We've been teasing you about our new feature all night, and now the wait is finally over. I can reveal that every night on the show, we'll be treated to an episode of an informative and hilarious new segment called The Notice Board. It stars some top talent, and we're very excited about it. But before we see it, let's have a quick chat with the writer, director, and phenomenon, may I say, Jeff Algebra, guys.
Actually,
Here he is.
I've dropped the algebra. I go by Jeff DePlume now. How'd you like that?
Yeah, very fancy. I suppose you need a new name now that you're a successful artiste.
Well, exactly. I'm earning enough to pay taxes now.
Oh.
There you go.
It's shit.
And how does Angela feel about all this? Your wife. Your wife.
Oh, God, no. No, she's long gone. No, she was holding me back. I'm with Norm now. We were married last month.
There you go.
Norm de Plume.
Yeah.
And why did you write this? What was your inspiration?
Oh, well, I received a telephone call offering me 25 grand to write a pro-team sitcom. And I heard my father's
14.
voice. It said, Jeff, you listen here, boy. You make hay while the sun shines. You wring every penny you can get out of this. So I wheeled him down to the transition centre, got out my typewriter and started clacking.
There you go.
Shite.
And without further ado, let's give it up for the notice board.
There we are.
You have to play a sound effect, Alex.
Well, let me get in there. Haven't you left it too long?
Yes, now you're getting it. Keep going.
Good morning, Miss Craven.
Oh, morning, Ray.
Everything all right, Mrs. Craven? You look as worried as the vicar in closing time.
There you go.
Oh, Ray, it's those young louts. They've vandalised my shop again.
No!
Yeah!
They've written all sorts of obscene language and crude pictures, and I know it's those damn youths.
I don't know. It could be the vicar at closing time.
Oh, wrong.
I'm just worried they won't ever become productive members of the community. What if they never see the error of their ways and end up as social outcasts, such as shoplifters or bong rats?
Don't worry, Mrs. Craven. This is a very supportive community, and I'm sure
There you
that
go.
in time they will fit into this society like this key into this lock.
There you go. Well said, lad.
See? Works like a charm. Works like a charm.
What a lovely way to put it, Ray. And just like that, we can unlock their future.
Yes, yes. Wow! Look at all the letters in my collection today.
Oh, I think that one's addressed to me.
What? This one? Oh, so you're right. Here it is.
It's a letter from my granddaughter, Brenda. She says she got an A on her maths exam because one of her friends has been helping her. She was always a team player, was our Brenda.
What's up, losers?
Oh, we're here.
Oh, no. It's Brad. He's the coolest guy in the village.
That's right. I just got here on my motorbike.
Oh, clear off, Brad. We don't want any of your ilk around here.
What? Rad dudes?
No, ruffians. Have you come to tag the notice board with your gang signs?
No way. I've actually come to pin my resume on that notice board. I'm looking to do some tutoring after school.
What did you say? Tutoring?
That's right. Maths is very important.
That's very
Would you mind,
important.
Ray?
Not at all. Not at all.
So you, a young person, have been spending your time helping others and not just urinating on churches or huffing glue?
Hey, I haven't huffed glue for months.
Well, blow me down!
You know what? We misjudged you based on how young and cool you are and not on your actions.
No doy.
So it wasn't you who vandalised my shop last night or called me a rancid old crone from the back of a chopper?
No way. It can't have been me. I was too busy helping my friend Brenda with her maths homework.
Could you speak up there? I thought for a minute there that you said Brenda.
I did, you daft old sow.
Did you hear that, Ray?
Oh, yes, what a wonderful surprise. I now respect you as a man.
Put her there, Ray.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Oh, what the heck?
Huh?
Give us a hug.
What's happened? What's going on? What's going on? Get back online. Get back online. We need to go out. What happened?
Sorry to interrupt the first groundbreaking episode of the notice board, but we're receiving some breaking news. I'm being told We're picking up reports from across the continent of what appear to be... Oh God, what appear to be nuclear explosions in 4 major foreign cities. Initial estimates put the death toll into the millions.
What
I'm
happened?
being told that we're experiencing some power fluctuations as a result, so apologies to any interruption to the broadcast for you at home. And now I am told that we are going live to team headquarters for an emergency broadcast from Prime Minister Julia Salisbury.
Julia, let's
moment.
hear about Julia.
Yes, let's go to that now.
Good evening, citizens and leaders of the world.
Right.
Minutes ago, operatives working for Advance detonated nuclear explosives simultaneously in 4 major cities across the continent.
Taking a strong stance. Good.
We have similar devices in 58 other urban centres.
They won't mess with us.
And will not hesitate to detonate them if our conditions are not met in full and without delay. The people of our territory will no longer tolerate your illegal and genocidal blockade. You are to remove it immediately. We will accept nothing less than your unconditional surrender.
There you go. Very
Your
strong
territories
stance.
will be taken under our control. We will install replacement governments to ensure that your citizens become part of the new future.
Yeah.
Your borders are now our borders.
There you go.
Your people are our people. They will finally be fed and clothed and educated and healed.
You go, Julia.
But for your privileged few, the moment that they feared is now upon them. Allow me to be crystal clear. If you fire a single shot at our territory or harm a single one of our citizens, we will not hesitate to detonate further devices. You will not find them, though no doubt you are already searching for them. Our technology is decades ahead of yours.
There we go.
We will expect your complete acceptance of our terms by midnight tonight.
Sorry, I didn't do it perfect, Julia. I did my best for you.
Well, okay, so there you have it. Advance making a brave move that
Yeah.
looks likely to end the war in this, its 20th week.
Absolutely.
There's a lot to take in here. And I know you, like me, will be wondering if this is too much.
No, it's not. We had to take a
We've
strong
gone too
stance.
far. We've gone too far. But I'm thinking of our sick and ill, denied their medicines.
Right.
The children with no food on their plates.
No,
and
they
body
brought this on
bags
themselves.
Returning from the front line. And I ask myself if without some big, bold gesture it would ever stop, and I do not think it ever would. We elected Advance to make this country better for us all, and it was working. But then the rest of the world looked at us and they said this cannot be seen to succeed.
You got it.
And they brought their warships and their tanks and their planes just to make sure that we were instead seen to suffer. To make sure no one anywhere would ever attempt this again. So, to my mind, our government have taken the only path available to them. A difficult decision for their hearts to bear, but one that ultimately we can respect because it is designed to keep us safe. And while this is unquestionably a dark night, it may indeed presage the dawn of a new future.
You said it, Megan.
My name's Megan Wolfe. Let's make tomorrow better.
Absolutely.
And we're out.
Do you ever get the feeling that you're making history?
There we are.
Time's undone. We stayed out of the sun.
This is Alan James. The revolution starts tonight, Alex. And we need your help.
We're so proud to be here today on this, the 500-day anniversary.
It's time to choose. Alex, whose side are you on?
serve a good, nutritious meal in these difficult times.
But before we go, one final thought.
And that's what's coming up for the final chapter. We'll be having another run through then, with a different side of Yorkie. I've been Yorkie England. You've been fantastic on the show. I've been hiding.
Hi, I'm Alex.
I'm Andy.
Let's watch this.
And I'm Den. Jay, we said Zoom backgrounds.
Oh, sorry, boys. We're the developers of Not for Broadcast, and we want to thank you so much for supporting our little game so far.
We're now 2/3 of the way through the story.
But as we film this in January 2021, the UK is back in lockdown.
We don't know when we'll next be able to film with a full cast and crew.
So once again, we have to ask you to please be patient with us.
And if you want to talk to us in the meantime,
come chat with us on Discord at discord.gg/notforbroadcast.
We stream on Twitch every first and third Thursday of the month at twitch.tv/NotGamesUK. We always check the Steam forums for any suggestions or problems you may have.
And we read every Steam review, even the horrible ones, because your opinion matters to us.
Even the
so
horrible
all
ones.
that remains to say is thank you so much for playing our weird little game.
And
see you in episode 3. Probably, if I have come up with a kill by then, I will let you know. Last time it didn't go so well for me.
Good evening, I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Jones.
I don't think we need the end of the level report, do you? I think we'll leave it right there. As I say, we'll be back. I'll be back next time whenever they release the next section, the final episode, with a different take on the playthrough.
Well, that's.
I've been Yorkie England, proud English person of interesting intellectual capacity. You've been fantastic. The 2 hours been hiding. There's links around to other gameplays on channel. There's like and sub, and will help us grow.
But now you start to see.
I'm still trying to wake up, so I'll see you around. Bye now.
It's never enough.